Good evening and happy Wednesday as we welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium here in Chillicothe. Game 2 of our Division V District Semifinal doubleheader this afternoon between the Wheelersburg Pirates and the Wellston Golden Rockets. Along with Shane Combs, my name is Dewey Daly as we welcome you back to the broadcast booth here in Chillicothe. Shane, I was impressed with the way Fairland really fought back. They didn't go away. They had that 3-run fourth inning. It just wasn't enough to get up over top of a Valley team that is headed back to the district final this Friday. They'll have the winner of this next one between Wheelersburg and Wellston. And Shane, if my memory serves me correctly, I'm just going off the top of my head, I believe this one between the Pirates and Golden Rockets is the closest in terms of seeding, a 5 versus 8 matchup. Should be an interesting one here.
Yeah, both teams have had a nice regular season, finished toward the top of their conference, had some success in the overall record. And you know, you talked about in the opening matchup with Valley and Fairland being two teams not a stranger to this level. Certainly Wheelersburg's not. And, you know, Wellston having a really nice year. Athens won the TVC Ohio side, but they had an outstanding team. Other than that, I know Wellston had a lot of success inside the TVC. And, you know, Wellston's a team that'll pitch and defend pretty well, pretty capable at the top of their order. So it'll certainly be a challenge for Wheelersburg, but obviously Wheelersburg, a team that seems to really click this time of year and play at a really high level, and you know they're going to do the right things. They're not going to beat themselves. They're going to throw strikes. They're going to make routine plays, put a lot of pressure on you on the offensive side. So hopefully we'll get a good one.
The Pirates 17-7 overall. We mentioned the 5 seed in the Division V District Tournament under head coach Derek Moore. Now their last tournament game was last Wednesday. That was a 10-0 win over the number 20 seed, the Alexander Spartans. Now they filled the gap from last Wednesday to now with a game on Monday. They were at Portsmouth. We mentioned that yesterday. That was a 4-3 loss to a really strong Portsmouth Trojans team. They advanced to their district final in their bracket last night. Now for the Wellston Golden Rockets, 14-9. You mentioned a couple games back of the Athens Bulldogs in the TVC Ohio. They finished 9-3 in conference play under head coach Chris Graham. Their last tournament win last Tuesday, so they've had some time off. They didn't fill that gap. That was the last time they've been in action, but it was a 4-1 win over Nelsonville, York. It was their 3rd win of the season over the Buckeyes.
Yeah, you know, when you look at that time off, you asked me about that last night. It's not ideal. You know, baseball's a sport where it's not like basketball or football where you'll take the time to rest up. It's been a spring of a lot of rain, a lot of rescheduling, a lot of missed opportunities to play. So, but I'm sure an experienced coach, I'm sure that they have done things to go live and to get some live looks and to make sure they're ready to go you know, when we get started here today.
Actually, I had it written down and I just skipped right over it. They have played a couple games since that went over Nelsonville last Tuesday. They played 2. They went 1-1. They had a loss to Eastern Meigs last Wednesday, so 7 days ago, and then they took down Zane Trace on the road on Monday. So some solid competition. We know the type of team Chris Stewart leads down at Eastern Meigs, and then Zane Trace. I don't know what the final was. I know they played Menford earlier on this afternoon, 2 p.m. down at OU, but well 2 district tournament teams.
Yeah, it didn't go well for Zane Trace today, but obviously Eastern Meigs, Zane Trace, 2 really good teams there. So, yeah, that makes more sense because, again, the thing you worry about as a coach is those live looks, especially on the offensive side, because as we've learned, you want your offense to go right from the word go. You don't have time sometimes to wait into that second, third time through the order. You can get yourself in a dogfight. So, yeah, 2 quality opponents, certainly have them ready to go today.
Now, we mentioned that loss to Eastern Meigs. That's one of 2 losses for Wellston in their last 8. They're 6-2 in their last 8 games. That other loss to Paint Valley, Shane, what can you tell us about this Wellston Golden Rockets team?
Yeah, Wellston came over to Paint Valley. It was one of the better games we played of the year. Owen Donahue threw a real nice game for us, and we had some success. But I thought they were a really good team. They threw some really good arms at us, and we had some timely hitting. But, yeah, I thought they were really well coached, did a lot of things the right way, and I could certainly see why they've advanced to this stage.
And for Wheelersburg, we mentioned 17-7, that 4-3 loss on Monday to Portsmouth. Prior to that loss, they had won 5 straight. They've won 11 of their last 14 games. So it's kind of different year, same story for Wheelersburg, always at this district level and usually pretty strongly.
Yeah, they really are. And, keep in mind, too, when you throw those extra games in, you're real careful with arms and you're throwing some different combinations. Probably going to still try to keep most of your offensive lineup intact to get them their work. But, again, baseball, non-conference, depending on who's on the mound, that can really persuade the scoreboard. So some of those scores throughout the year are a little bit misleading.
We'll go through the lineups for both teams this afternoon as Wellston wraps up their infield and outfield. For the Pirates on the mound, it'll be Ian Kahn. On the season, Kahn, this will be his 11th appearance. He's tossed 42 innings, 6 wins, no losses, a .83 ERA and 49 Ks, a first-team all-district selection. So Wheelersburg seemingly going with one of their better arms here in the district semi.
Yeah, 49 Ks and 42 innings. Again, we talk about that all the time. I always feel like the top of the scouting report for any coach is make the other 7 guys get you out. Don't let the pitcher and catcher take over the game. Because Wheelersburg, as you're going to go through in the lineup here, also a lead at catcher here today. So I think that'll be first and foremost for Wellston and facing Kahn today.
Rest of the order, we'll just go through the lineups for both teams. For the Pirates, they'll be the home team this afternoon, so we'll just go ahead and start with Wellston. It'll be Ryan Long, Braxton Ingalls, Justin Jackson, Carter Witt, Mason Stevens, Brenton Moon, A.J. Urban, Levi Bellard, and Kel Font. Head coach Chris Graham going with Carter Witt on the mound this afternoon for the Golden Rockets. For Wheelersburg, the lineup goes as follows: Brady Doss, Jack Clevenger, Jack Picklesheimer, Brody Wilburn, Cooper Heimbach, Ian Kahn, Drew Holland, Drake Bundy, and Cameron Kahn.
Yeah, Wellston there at the top of the order with Long and Ingalls, the freshman. Very athletic, very capable. So that'll be something that they, like a lot of teams, want to get their top guys on, some speed guys on, see if they can create some offense against Kahn. If Kahn's able to keep them off base, he's going to have a lot of success against the Wellston lineup. So pay close attention to the matchup there with Long and Ingalls there early in the game.
As we said at the top of the broadcast, the winner of Wheelersburg and Wellston will move on to take on Valley. Shane, we obviously don't have a winner for Game 2, but what is some advice you would give and maybe a game plan you would lay out for whoever wins Game 2 when taking on Lucasville Valley?
Well, the first thing, man, I know I said it a lot in the first, but I was being genuine almost as a coach in me. The first thing you better do is match their energy and their effort. They're athletic, but they play really, really hard. And I'm not saying Fairland wasn't trying hard. I'm just telling you there was 2 or 3 plays in that first game where one team played harder than the other, and as a result, it resulted in extra outs in the inning and a few extra runs on the scoreboard. So I think that's the first thing you have to do. But I also think if you have some good at-bats against them, I think you can put some pressure on them. We saw in the one inning, Fairland had some success working the count and getting some different things. Obviously, the pitching matchup will be a little bit different, but I think anytime you can put high school teams in a little bit more pressure pitches and put some guys on, get them in the stretch, that's a big factor. So I would say contain their speed in terms of trying to get their offense under control, and then having really quality long at-bats where you avoid the strikeout and get the ball in play.
And Shane, we've obviously talked about pitchers getting ahead in the count now. That can obviously have its benefits with not just longevity in the game, but it kind of allows you to maybe waste some pitches or throw some balls out of the strike zone. Whereas you get behind 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, you have to go to the zone a little more. Do you expect either of these pitchers to maybe try to hone in on that here in the early goings?
What's the first thing I always look for in the first inning in any game? But when you get into the district level and you get on this stage, I think that's times 10. I always look to see. Obviously, if the coach gives the ball to someone at this level, they're good. No one questions that. What you're looking to see is, can they control the heart rate? Can they control their breathing and kind of get those emotions in check to throw the called strikes early in the game to allow your team to settle in? I think back to the Piketon game last night, struggled a little bit on the first batter or two. Then all of a sudden the defense makes an incredible play and the young man settles in for about 4 innings. So a lot of times, can you settle in and survive the first 2 or 3 batters of the game? If the answer is yes, obviously the talent's there for you to throw a nice ball game and give your team a chance to win.
And Shane, I mentioned Ian Kahn, one of the better arms for Wheelersburg coming into this one, but I believe outside of Kahn, they have 3 other guys that have thrown at least 25 pitches and have ERAs under 1.25. So it's a pretty loaded pitching room and pitching staff for head coach Derek Moore?
Well, I think the thing that's changed over the last 5 to 7 years, whenever the pitch count came in there, when they went from the 10 innings in 3 days to the pitch count rules, it's completely changed the development of pitching. So now what you see is the really good teams, the really complete teams. Yeah, they still have maybe that stud number 1, but chances are what you're going to find is you're going to see a number 2, 3, and 4 very capable of throwing strikes, very capable of getting somebody out. So it shouldn't surprise anybody that a program like Wheelersburg has multiple guys on the pitching staff that can get a job done.
All righty, we'll take a quick break. Wheelersburg and Wellston coming up next here in Chillicothe, a trip to the district final on the line at VA Memorial Stadium. You're set to be watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
You look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Back here in Chillicothe, Wheelersburg and Wellston moments away from first pitch in Game 2 of our doubleheader of Division V District Semifinals here at VA Memorial Stadium. Shane, something I mentioned to right before we came back from break is the weather, much more beneficial to pretty much everybody here. The baseball is going to be better when the weather is better, but obviously the players on the field probably a lot more thankful that they didn't play yesterday and they're playing today. A lot drier conditions versus last night.
Last night I thought it was certainly a factor. I thought you watched it a little bit with the pitching and some of the defense on certain plays. Today in the first game didn't notice it as much, so I thought it played a little bit more a little true in terms of what you would normally think. I will say it's a little bit cool for this time of year, and I think that's been a factor a little bit. This is a little bit more early season type of weather, what you would think of coming out of some of your scrimmage season and playing early. But yeah, no doubt about it, better than last night for sure.
And we talked about it yesterday, just how funky the weather has been this season and all the cancellations. I don't know the exact number of broadcasts we've had up to this point, but I know we've had at least 3, 4, or 5 get rained out. So it's just been, at least to my knowledge, one of the rougher spring sports seasons in terms of weather-related cancellations that I can think of in the last handful of years.
I haven't seen anything like it in my 30 years of coaching from a standpoint of how inconsistent it was. There'd be so many afternoons where you'd be 1:30, 2 o'clock, and you'd be standing outside just looking at the sky trying to figure out, do I tell this opponent to get on the bus, or do we go ahead and get on the bus knowing we might go an hour away and turn around and come back? And you just had a lot of those and throughout the year, and it's everyone's had to deal with it, but certainly has been a factor in teams trying to get their 27 games in for the regular season.
And that is one of the benefits here at the VA. You'd have to think any games scheduled to be played on dirt or grass, maybe if there are any softball games scheduled for yesterday that are being played on the all-dirt infield, probably not going to play.
Well, the hardest thing is, it's one thing to get canceled. That's just part of spring sports. The hardest thing is when you get your kids all jacked up, they're ready to play a tournament game, you get on a bus, you drive an hour away, and you turn around, come home, and have to do it again tomorrow. That's tough. So the turf fields really give you an opportunity to get some games in. Let's face it, last night it rained. It didn't rain hard, but it rained enough throughout a 4 or 5 hour period. Most regular fields were not going to make it, so the turf really allowed them to get 2 games in. And yes, the weather impacted a little bit, but both teams are going through the same situations, which I still think keeps it pretty fair.
You mentioned getting amped up and coming back. I remember my senior year, so this was the COVID-shortened football season. It was after we lost in the playoffs. We had one more game at Madison Plains, and we drive all the way out there. It's probably 45 minutes. Madison Plains is out there. I don't even know which direction it is, but I know it's far away. And we get there, we're all warmed up. We go through warm-ups and everything, and then the tornado sirens start going off. And we go home, come back the next day, and I'll just tell you, there weren't a lot of people that wanted to get back on the bus. But we did.
I understand.
All righty, so the leadoff man, Ryan Long. Ian Kahn on the mound for the Pirates. As Heimbach plays in at third base, first pitch swinging Long, fouls it away. Rest of the defensive alignment behind Ian Kahn in the outfield from left to right, Bryson Longfellow, Jake Clevenger, and Brody Wilburn. In the infield from third to first, Cooper Heimbach, Cameron Kahn, and Drew Holland up the middle, and Jack Picklesheimer at first, Brady Doss behind the plate for the Pirates. Oh, 1 from Kahn, misses low and away.
Yeah, Long runs well here at the top of the order. Wheelersburg was in front of the bag there, and then after strike one, moves back even with it down there at third.
One ball and 2 strikes to the leadoff man, third baseman Ryan Long. One, 2 down low.
Kahn also works from the stretch. We talked about more and more pitchers seem to come up through some of their mechanical work doing that.
Two in there, called strike 3. Kahn starts off the day with a strikeout, 1 away.
Catcher Brady Doss, also a first-team All-District, nice athlete. Kind of goes with the old school, maybe I'm dating myself here, a little old school Tony Pena type setup to get a nice low target. And they paint the outside corner at the knees. Do you even know who Tony Pena is?
I know who Brian Pena is. Reds 2015 catcher. Great time to be a Cincinnati Reds
What if
fan.
I go more modern on you, go Benito Santiago? Do I at least get
I
you
don't
there?
even know who that is.
Okay. See,
Telling you.
I'm struggling, and I'll have to get more modern for you. A lot of the newer catchers, they don't quite go to that extreme.
Up the middle, Ingles. The 1-out single.
Yeah, Ingles is a really, really good player. Just a freshman, can really run. Gives them an opportunity here if they choose to against a tough battery to run against. But let's see what Wellston has in mind here in the early going.
So now the catcher, Justin Jackson. Pickoff attempt to first. The rest of the batting order for the Rockets after Jackson, Carter Witt, Mason Stevens, Brenton Moon, A.J. Irvin, Levi Bellard, and Cale Fott. Justin Jackson up with a man aboard and 1 down here in the visiting half of the first inning. Jackson hard hit up the middle, gloved by Kahn, steps on second, on to first, is in time for the 6-3 double play.
Hit it hard, just right at him.
1, 2, 3, top of the first. Spotless frame for Ian Kahn. We'll head to the bottom half of the inning. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at GlocknerCDJR@Portsmouth.com.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
Back here in Chillicothe. Carter Witt takes the mound for the Golden Rockets. Catcher Brady Doss will lead things off for the Pirates. Rest of the batting eye-up after Doss: Jake Clevenger, Jack Picklesheimer, Brody Wilburn, Cooper Heimbach, Ian Kahn, Drew Holland, Drake Bundy, and Cameron Kahn rounding out the Pirates batting lineup.
Yeah, for Wellston, after Coach Graham got the one-out single from Engels, had to like the at-bat there just to hit the ball real hard right out of middle infielder. So a little early momentum for Coach Moore and his Pirates. Let's see. Now it's Witt's turn to try to settle into the first inning here and see if he can get his team to put up a matching 0.
So Brady Doss to lead things off for the Pirates. Shane, you mentioned a first-team all-district selection. 348 average, 6 doubles, 2 triples, 1 home run, 12 RBI for Doss. Witt operating out of the windup, delivers his first offering. This one fouled away. Shane, you talked about it, some players preferring to go from the stretch even with nobody on. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, as I said last night, my favorite pitch is strike one. So I guess at the end of the day, you try not to overcoach. If they can, command and so forth all their pitches, I'm fine with it. It does make them that much better in some pressure pitches with people on. Other people will tell you the windup does allow you a little bit more rhythm and a little bit more momentum, maybe to throw a little bit harder. But like I said, I don't get too wrapped up in the windup versus the stretch. It's more, a lot of times you're coaching the kid, and if the stuff's really good, then go with it.
1-2 from Witt, misses upstairs. Do you think it would be fair to say that maybe the windup gives the pitcher more opportunities to change up the speed and change up the timing when coming to the plate?
No question, and I think you see that more and more at all levels of baseball.
2-2 blooped, shallow left field. Bellard coming in, and he'll play it off the hop. Moves towards the line. Doss will look to make it 2. Head first slide into second, and in for a leadoff double.
Yeah, really good piece of hitting, because I thought that was a pretty good pitch. Went off speed, got in on the hands, and he was able to get the hands just inside the baseball enough to shoot it the other way and not get jammed up. Then on the turf, the ball takes a little, that lefty hitting that ball, is kind of working away from the left fielder. Did a pretty good job not to let the ball get all the way down there by the Petland sign. But nonetheless, thinking double out of the box all the way, Doss gets a 2-bagger. Chance for Berg to play out in front.
7th double of the season for Brady Doss. Man in scoring position for the center fielder, Jake Clevenger. Clevenger showing bunt. Long charging from third, he'll glove it. Gathers himself, rifles it down to first base, and it gets away from Stevens and down into the right field corner. Doss trots in from third. And Clevenger standing up. The Pirates take a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Long does a pretty good job of, you'd love for your third baseman to stay home there. He's reading how hard the bunt is. He recognizes right off the bat he's got to come get it. He does everything right, just maybe takes a little too long to get rid of it, and then gets it up into the running lane, and ball shoots all the way down into the bullpen, and trouble for Wellston here in the early going.
1-0 Wheelersburg. Runner on third, nobody out for Jack Picklesheimer. Picklesheimer, another first-team all-district selection for Derek Moore. More known for what he does on the mound, batting .279, has 5 doubles, 20 RBI though. Sawed off to the right side, picked up by Stevens. He'll take it unassisted for the first out of the inning.
Nice job. Looked like a lot of times you predetermine as a third base coach. Looked like maybe they were seeing the ball through there, and as a result, unable to score. Now with 1 out, let's see if there's a little different strategy. What you might find with 1 out there, a little bit more on the contact play, reading the ground ball and going.
So runner on third, one out. 1-0, Wheelersburg leading Wellston. Long playing in at third base. First pitch swinging up the middle. That's through for a base hit. 1 out RBI single for Brody Wilburn.
Yeah, big thing we always talk about from a coaching defensive side, every time the other team bunts, there has to be an out recorded. And when there's not, there's a good chance something bad's going to happen that inning. And when you're playing someone the talent of Wheelersburg, there's a good chance a crooked number is going to go up.
So 2 runs already in the inning for the Pirates. Cooper Heimbach, the third baseman, strides in with a man aboard and 1 gone here in the home half of the first. From the stretch, Witt now delivers the 0-1. This one popped up right side. Stevens giving chase, moving towards the wall, and he can't bring it in. Off the mitt and falls foul. 0-2 now for Heimbach.
Yeah, good effort. Did everything right. Got over to the fence, found the fence early. Ball was coming back into fair territory, just unable to squeeze it.
Shane, I'll tell you, as a player, I spent a lot of the time, but depending on how you're looking at it, on the right side of the infield, second base and first base. I always wanted, when I played here, that ball that you have to lean over the fence or maybe dive over the fence because it's not tall enough you can reach over it. You see maybe at high school fields the fence is 4 or 5 feet tall. Here it's only about 2 or 3, so it gives you that opportunity to make that diving or leaning over catch. 0-2, Wilburn off from first. Swing and miss at the plate. Throw down is in time. Double play.
That's a big time throw right there from.
Is that only the second? Oh, this is only the second strike.
Yeah.
I had that as 0-2.
Oh, I think they had the board. Yeah.
It was 1-1, but prior to the pitch.
Yeah, that's a big time throw there from Jackson. Put it right on the bag.
So Wilburn thrown out at second. The count was 1-1, now 1-2. Make that 2 balls and 2 strikes to Heimbach.
Yeah, so the obviously had the foul ball over there, and then must have had the first pitch called out of the zone.
2-2 popped up. Right side, Font giving chase, but he's going to run out of room. This one falls foul. And Jackson just continuing on, Shane, something you mentioned, the outstanding catcher play we've seen the last couple days here at the VA.
Well, that's usually a given in a lot of areas. There's a nice backside shot there. Once you get to this level, they're all pretty good, and once you get to the district championship level, you won't see a bad one. You just can't. It'll get exposed. You just can't advance to that level if you're not a lead catcher.
Third hit of the inning for Wheelersburg. Heimbach reaches with 2 down.
Been fortunate enough to be to the regional 3 times, and I don't think it's coincident in all my years that 3 of the top 4 catchers I've ever coached were on those teams.
Now the opposing pitcher, Ian Kahn. 2 outs, 1 man aboard here in the bottom of the first. Oh, 1. Quick throw down to first. Heimbach back in safely. And despite the 2 spot and 3 hits, Shane, it seems like Witt has been able to work the count early and get ahead.
Yeah, he's thrown well. Like I said, the leadoff double was just a real good piece of hitting and kind of a ball falling, in the right spot, and then an inability to get an out on the bunt.
0-2 misses low and away, gets past Jackson. Heimbach advances to second. And a runner in scoring position with 2 down for the Pirates.
Yeah, pretty good effort from Jackson. That ball was all the way out, almost on the outer half of the left-hand batter's box. Tried his best to get that right shoulder out there. At least kept it from going to the screen.
Witt delivers the 1-2. Breaking ball on the inside corner, called strike 3. Two spot for the Pirates in their frame. 2-0 headed to the top of the second here in Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Back here in Chillicothe, 2-0, Wheelersburg leading Wellston after 1. During the break, Shane, we were just talking about a couple of softball teams that are moving on to the regional final in Division IV. I believe they'll play each other. It's Hillsborough and Logan Elm. Obviously, Logan Elm had that run to the state. I believe it was last year they went all the way to the Final Four, but here in 2025, they're back to the regional final. Big one against Hillsborough.
I know Hillsborough has an outstanding young lady in the circle, gives them a chance to win every time out. I know over in D5, Wheelersburg beats Piketon 6-1 today, so the SVC champion gets knocked out there in the Sweet 16, but obviously that's one of the better teams they've had in about 20 years there at Piketon.
And you mentioned an SVC champion, an SVC rubber match. Although I believe it's not technically a rubber match since I think Unioda took the previous 2 meetings, but a third meeting between Unioda and Westfall tomorrow night at Bob Wren.
Yeah, Unioda with the perfect 14-0 record in the SVC, just finding a way to win night in, night out. One of the closest games was against that Westfall bunch, so certainly should be a good one.
And same division, just different district bracket, but Lynchburg and Portsmouth tomorrow night should be a fun one as well.
I think so. I mean, I thought both those teams had a lot of similarities last night. Both teams have their top pitching ready to go, so that should be elite.
0-2 from Kahn, sent right back up the middle. 2-strike leadoff base knock for Carter Witt.
Good piece of hitting there. That ball seemed off the plate from where we're sitting up here, and he just went with it and knocked it right back up the middle, lead off base runner. Wellston's had 3 of their 4 guys hit the ball extremely hard. Unfortunately, the one in the middle there just happened to hit it right out of middle infielder, resulting in the double play to end the top of the first inning.
Second hit of the day for the Golden Rockets. Ingles had the other single in the first inning. Now the left-hitting first baseman, Mason Stevens.
Kind of a unique release point for Kahn. I think that's the biggest thing for the Wellston hitters to find.
As Kahn falls behind to Stevens, 2-0.
Once it comes out, it comes pretty much over the top. There just seems to be a little something there at the top, back around the right ear that kind of hides the ball a little bit.
2-0, swinging away, Stevens. 2 balls and 1 strike. Check swing, a called strike at the plate. As Kahn fights back to even it up at 2-2. Throw over to first base. It gets past Picklesheimer. Witt taken off for second base. Picklesheimer fires it into second, but not in time.
Outstanding effort there from the first baseman to go get it and deliver a strike.
So the leadoff man in scoring position, still nobody out for Wellston.
Now contact becomes a premium here, preferably to the pool side for the lefty.
Kahn comes home with the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout for Ian Kahn, his second today.
It is a big strikeout. Again, you want to make productive outs. You're obviously going to get out 21 times throughout the game, assuming you play all 7 innings, and you got to make those first 2 outs every inning as productive as possible. So when you get that leadoff man on, get him over to second on the throwing error, you miss an opportunity there to move him up to third.
Now the center fielder, Brenton Moon. Moon, a district special mention. With 1 man on in scoring position, 1 away here in the top half of the second. Moon squares around a bunt, fouls it away. Witt off from second. He'll return. 0-2 to the batter, Brenton Moon. Paints home opener here at the VA tomorrow night. Shane, I know you mentioned maybe catching a ride down to Athens. How many Paints games you say you make it out to each year?
Yeah, I usually make multiple. I enjoy it, and especially having some local flavor on it, I always enjoy. You mentioned last night, had some Paint Valley kids over the years, so I'd come out quite a bit during some of those years. But, yeah, I would say, usually always get to at least 2, but there's been some years probably 4 or 5. I really enjoy it.
Taking on the Rex tomorrow night. Thirsty Thursday to open up. Usually opening night is one of the more attended regular season games of the season. Thirsty Thursday definitely brings out a few more faces.
You mentioned Micah Geisey, Uniota, very talented outfielder for them.
A.J. Dahlmeyer, Washington Courthouse, another one as well. Second baseman, A.J. Irvin. Down 0-1. Ian Kahn competing after giving up that leadoff single, and Witt advancing to second base with still nobody out. Back-to-back Ks for Kahn, now ahead in the count, 0-2 to Irvin.
Carter Witt out there at second base, I know doesn't run extremely well, but as a base runner, you can do yourself a lot of favors by trying to get that bigger secondary lead. Ballpark like this, unless they hit it right at a outfielder, it's a lot easier to score than sometimes in your traditional fields. So you really got to do your work in the secondary lead to give you the best chance to score.
And Shane, it looked like there may have been some relaying of the signs between Witt and Irvin. I think that's what that mound visit may have had to do with. Nonetheless, 0-2 to Irvin. 0-2 from Kahn, called strike 3. Gives up a leadoff single, strikes out the next 3. Another scoreless frame tossed by Ian Kahn. We'll take a break, bottom half of the second. When we return here at VA Memorial Stadium, you're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week, presented by Willie & Son Trucking, each week at sosaohio.com.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
7-8-9 due up for the Pirates here in the bottom of the second inning. Drew Holland, Drake Bundy, and Cameron Kahn. A 3-hit, 2-run first inning for the Pirates has them out in front 2-0 over Wellston.
Dewey, I don't know if this has anything to do with the outcome of the day, but have you ever noticed Wheelersburg's white uniforms? They are they are just as pure white as ever. I have no idea from a baseball uniform standpoint this deep into the year. Every year I see them, it's like they're sponsored by Tide or something.
Might have some tournament-only attire.
Yeah.
Maybe you regroup after the regular season to make sure you look the best for the tournament. Because even playing on turf, Shane, it's still going to usually leave, I don't know if it's turf stains, but you're still going to have some black marks from the pellets.
Yeah.
Don't even see any of those. Nothing in 2. Witt works ahead to Drew Holland.
Yeah, I like Witt's ability to move the off speed around. He not only throws it for a strike, but he throws it to different parts of the strike zone.
0-2 lace to right center. That's down for a leadoff base hit. Nearly gets past Font in right field. He's able to track it down and keep Holland at bay. Nonetheless, the 4th hit of the day for Wheelersburg.
Yeah, Witt went to 3 straight breaking pitches, just catches a little bit too much plate there. Good backside poke and another leadoff base runner for Wheelersburg.
Now the DH, Drake Bundy. Bundy batting 193 on the season, does have 12 RBI, has not yet recorded an extra base hit.
Saw the good arm from Jackson there in the 1st inning when they tried to test it. Had Witt right around 1.2 to the plate, so again, if you pick the right pitch to go on, especially with his curveball, certainly someone you could run against, but again, the catcher with the strong arm.
1-1, Bundy squares around a bunt. Charging from third is Rylan Long on the run, makes the play. What a toss from Long. For the first out of the inning, as Holland moves up to second.
Yeah, big time play. Just trusted his athleticism that time and made the throw. Thought the first time he almost tried to set and take too much time, and he ended up creating a bad angle for himself. That time, again, he's an elite, as I mentioned, as the leadoff hitter. He's an elite athlete. Just trust your athleticism, make the play. Well done.
And at that angle, Shane, it makes the margin for error even smaller as you don't want to hit the runner in the back.
No doubt about it.
The Pirates look to lay down back-to-back bunts. This time Kahn out from behind the plate. It's Jackson who rifles it up the line for the second out. Holland will move to third, but back-to-back outstanding defensive plays from Rylan Long and Justin Jackson to retire the last 2 batters.
Well, you talk about the arm strength of Jackson. We saw it against the run game there in the 1st inning. This time against the bunt, heads up play by Long to kind of come down and cover the plate to make sure the runner doesn't go. That time I think they were more bunting for a hit, but nonetheless, now 2 outs, chance to get out of the inning.
And Shane, it's 2 plays, really the second one especially, where you feel like the fielder got to it a bit late, but the arm strength makes up for it. Back to the top of the order now with Brady Doss, led things off for the Pirates an inning ago with a double. Eventually came around to score for the Pirates' first run of the night.
This is where Holland's got to be careful down there with 2 outs at third base. With the lefty up and the strong arm at catcher, he's got a good throwing lane. He can throw in behind that runner.
As Witt falls behind a Doss, 2-0. A breaking ball in there for a called strike, 2-1. And Shane, that's something you talked about in the previous game, being able to throw that off speed for a strike consistently. It changes the approach of the batter, especially 2-0.
Well, certainly, and as a hitter, a lot of times you don't want anything to do with it until 2 strikes.
2-1 to left center. Bellard and Moon giving chase, but they're not going to get there. Over the head of Bellard and left. Holland in from third. Doss looks to make it a 3-bagger in feet first. And a 2-out RBI triple for Doss. Second hit of the night.
Well, second time Doss goes backside. Second time he has an extra base hit to show for it. The first time, a little bit more of a fortunate find and bounce. Nothing cheap about that one at all. Shows off a little backside power and hits it to one of the deeper parts of the ballpark down by the scoreboard, and then shows off the speed. Obviously working on a cycle night maybe.
Third double of the season for Brady Doss, his 13th RBI as well. Shane, you said it. He does have one home run on the season, so definitely not out of the question. At the high school level, you never really know how many of those home runs left the yard, but with Doss's speed, I think it's a safe assumption that that could have stayed in the yard, and he just made it all the way around. Now the center fielder, Jake Clevenger, reached on air in the first inning. Now faced with a 1-1 count with a runner on third and 2 down in the home half of the second inning. One low and away. Didn't get to it in the first inning, but the umpiring crew this afternoon, Justin Davis behind the plate, and Mark Trainer up the first base line, Michael Trainer down the third base line. Couple of Chillicothe's finest. 2-2.
Yeah, I've had really good umpiring throughout the 2 nights we've been here.
Two grounded left side. Ingles to his right. Plays it straight on and fires to first for the third out of the inning. Pirates bring home another. Strand one in scoring position. Either way, they lead 3-0 after 2. We'll take a break. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
You look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Back here in Chillicothe, Wheelersburg leading Wellston 3-0. Shane, before the break, we went through the umpiring crew talking about Mark and Michael Trainer. Do you get out to Carl's very often?
What's that?
Carl's Townhouse?
Oh, yeah.
Solid establishment, I would say.
No doubt about it.
For those who don't know, I spend a lot of my off time slinging donuts over at the Creamery. I feel like that's kind of the same. People go there in the morning to get a donut, and they go to Carl's in the afternoon. I feel like it might be the very similar crowd between the two places.
Might just be coming to see you.
It's an 8-9-1 due up for the Golden Rockets. Levi Bellard, the left fielder, will lead things off. Cale Font and Rylan Long.
Yeah, Wellston had 3 straight hitters, a chance to drive a run in. Got a guy out to second base with nobody out last inning, unable to do it. Now they need the bottom of their order to spark him with a base runner.
Bellard swings through it, 0-2. 1-2 pitch, a breaking ball brushed Bellard off the plate out of the zone, 2-2.
Yeah, might have caught a little bit of the plate, but it was down.
Two from Kahn.
Now here's where you don't want to lose him. Again, at the bottom of the order, we talked about it. The ability to just throw strikes.
Payoff pitch on the way, in on the hands, but a called strike 3. First out of the inning, 5th strikeout for Kahn.
Came back on the inside corner and able to paint the black there and get the call. Big strikeout for him.
Now the right fielder, Cale Fott.
You're talking about in the first game, splitting the top of the order here. It's another situation we're seeing it here where you're unable to get a base runner. You got that top of the order coming up with 2 outs. It just makes it hard to really create the same type of rally opportunity.
One, a called strike, one ball and 2 strikes to Font. Shane, something I've noticed, it seems like Wheelersburg is almost on a defend the bunt on the first pitch of each at-bat. You'll have to watch it to see if it continues, but it seems like Heimbach is in on what would be the grass for the first pitch of every at-bat, then moves back afterwards. 2-2 to Font.
Yeah, I think you can get away, too. As you start to move back, I think you can get away in this ballpark playing a little deeper than maybe you would in some high school ballparks. Again, goes full count, just as he did with the 8-hole hitter. And like I said, I thought he made a good pitch. I thought it was a tight inside corner call. But again, the bottom of the order at least making him throw some pitches here.
Payoff pitch called strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Kahn. 6 on the evening thus far. Now back to the top of the order with Rylan Long.
Yeah, he's at the third base there. Just kind of first, like you said, with no strikes, going to play in front.
So Long will begin the second time through the order for the Golden Rockets. He was down on strikes to begin the afternoon. Kahn falls behind, 2 balls, no strikes to the leadoff man, Rylan Long. Two-0. Kahn fights back, evens it up at 2-2.
Yeah, he's got good command on that, on the inside corner, really getting in on the right-hander.
Swing and a miss. Kahn strikes out the side, his second consecutive inning with 3 strikeouts. He's got 7 through 3 innings. Middle of the third, Wheelersburg leading Wellston 3-0 here in Chillicothe. Home half of the inning when we return to VA Memorial Stadium. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at glocknercdjr@portsmouth.com.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glow Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
Back here in Chillicothe, it's 3-0 Wheelersburg over top of Wellston. Shane, something I've noticed today between both pitchers, so talking about Carter Witt and Ian Kahn, is neither pitcher has really fallen behind in any counts, and when they do, they fight right back through 2.5 innings. We haven't seen a walk issue just yet.
Yeah, been some 3-2 pitches where they've been able to make some quality pitches, but yeah, for the most part, been a pretty well-pitched game. Like I said, Wheelersburg's been able to take advantage of a couple Wellston miscues. Big inning for Wellston here because even with the 7 Ks for Kahn, Wellston, that's going to be a leadoff base hit unless he can cut it off up the middle. Tough play. The reason I say it's a big inning is because even with the 7 Ks, I felt like hitters 2, 3, 4, 5, right around that part of the Wellston order had the best swings against them the first time through, and that's what they'll have coming up in the top of the 4th inning. If they're able to keep this at a 3-0 game, it might be one of their best chances to put a run up on the board and cut into this thing.
Leadoff single for Jack Picklesheimer. 3rd consecutive inning the Pirates have began the frame with a base hit. As Wilburn squares to bunt, puts it to the right side of the infield. Witt off the mound, throwing it to first and in time. Beating the feet first slide of Wilburn, one away.
Good bunt, good defense to get the out. You always see the Wheelersburg kids come out of the dugout there and let their teammate know they appreciate him giving himself up on the sacrifice there. Just those good chemistry program things you see, high IQ, understanding the game.
So now the 3rd baseman, Cooper Heimbach, he singled in the 1st. First pitch, swinging a ground ball to the left side. Picked up by Ingles onto first for the 2nd out of the inning. Throw down to 3rd is in time for the double play. Great catch and throw from Mason Stevens.
Great defense.
A 6-3-5 double play. Don't see that one too often. Top of the 4th, 3-0 Wheelersburg over top of Wellston. The Golden Rockets with their first scoreless inning defensively here this evening. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Parmar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Parmar has it. Download the Parmar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Parmar Rewards Card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Tough play.
Back here in Chillicothe, top of the 4th inning. Middle of the lineup coming up for the Golden Rockets, 2-3-4, Braxton Ingles, Justin Jackson, and Carter Witt. The due up 2 for 3 the first time around, so maybe some runs in the future for the Golden Rockets.
Well, I felt like they had some good swings against him. Obviously, the base hit, then the ball that ended up in the double play, the 6-4-3, was hit extremely hard, and then Witt had a base hit as well. So if you're Wellston, Getting into this middle inning here where still plenty of time, but you feel like if you don't get something out of the top of your order here, outs are going to start to hard to come by here as you move through your order. So down 3-0, they really need to get a run on the board here.
Ian Kahn has struck out the last 6 batters he's faced. Has 7 total on the evening. As Engels' first pitch swinging this one out of play.
Engels, one of the really good young players in our area. Just been highly impressed with him. Coaching against him a few weeks back, he ended up throwing against us, and just real impressed with his overall game.
One off the plate, back-to-back pitches out of the zone for Kahn. 2 balls and 1 strike for Engels. Two one the opposite way. Here's Kahn on the hop over to first base, scooped up by Picklesheimer for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, great play by Picklesheimer there. Ball coming over with something on it there on the turf.
Now the catcher, Justin Jackson.
It's fun to watch the Wheelersburg defense from up here where you can see it all happen, the way they get the sign and they get it called throughout the diamond, and the defense can shift with the pitch.
Jackson, first pitch swinging as well, fouls it off.
It's very difficult to execute sometimes with younger teams. Obviously, you get some experienced guys throughout your program and can really help that stuff get executed correctly.
Nothing in 2 to Justin Jackson. This one into the turf.
They went with the harder breaking ball there. See if he comes back and doubles up on that and goes with a little bit more of a slower variety. Throws one that has a little bit more loop to it. He did, but again, he buries it. Nice job by Doss. This Doss kid's quite a player. He's a good player. He's impacted the game from the leadoff spot, doing a good job receiving here.
Two, swing and a miss. 8th strikeout for Kahn, 2 away here in the 4th. Kahn has retired the last 8 batters he's faced. Breaking ball in there for a called strike, 0-1 into Carter Witt. Witt singled to kick off the 2nd inning. Stranded at second base. So that began the run of 6 consecutive strikeouts for Ian Kahn. One. Hard hit to the left side, just out of the reach of Cameron Kahn and into left center. Multi-hit game for Carter Witt.
Yeah, Witt swings a good bat there. Nice line drive. Wheelersburg had shifted the defense right to the correct spot. Just out of the leaping effort there of Kahn out shortstop. Your Wellston here the ability to string some hits together. One, trying to score a run, obviously, but two, just trying to move the order to give your top of the order a few more spots. You're kind of stuck in that pattern that you've been talking about where you're not getting the leadoff group to hit together.
Stevens fouls it off into the glove of Doss. 0-2.
Nice job staying alive there. That was a pretty good pitch just off the outside corner.
Oh, 2 just off the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mason Stevens. One and 2. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the inning, 9 on the evening for Ian Kahn. He's been dealing. 3-0, middle of the 4th. Bottom half of the inning when we return here at VA Memorial Stadium. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
Look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Back here in Chillicothe, bottom of the 4th inning. Ian Kahn set to lead things off. Drew Holland, Drake Bundy will follow. Kahn's been dealing through 4 innings coming into this afternoon's contest. He had tossed 42 innings, had 49 strikeouts, so right around a strikeout per inning, but so far 9 Ks and 4 innings of work, well over that average coming in.
Well, and it's been huge because we talked about the importance of Wellston putting the ball in play, trying to make the defense work, and it's the defense has turned a double play for him, and then the strikeouts had the guy out second with nobody out the one time earlier in the game, and he never moved. So yeah, Kahn really in control of the game. You mentioned the Logan Elm softball that beat Meadowbrook 4-2. So as you said, what's cool there is Logan Elm Hillsborough is going to guarantee a Southeast team to the Final Four.
Logan Elm, of course, would look to make it back-to-back as Kahn flies out to Font in right field for the first out of the inning. Kahn now 0 for 2.
On your score sheet there, is that the first time they retired the leadoff man in an inning? It seems like that's been a big factor. Just Wheelersburg's had people on base all day. Witt's been able to pitch around it a little bit. Obviously, some of the throwing errors earlier in the game were big factors.
Line drive to the left side right at Braxton Ingalls. 2 quick outs for Carter Witt. Didn't throw a lot of pitches last inning either. Now, prior to this inning, 3 straight base hits by the Wheelersburg leadoff man. Double from Brady Doss, single from Drew Holland, and a single from Jack Picklesheimer last inning. Now Drake Bundy. Bundy right up the middle. Is Witt able to knock it down? Not enough time to regroup. and make the play to first, but nearly had an ESPN top 10 play up the middle.
No doubt about it. Great reaction time, and a little bit unlucky that it bounced as far away as it did. You know, if that ball dropped straight down.
Saw that from.
I think coach is going to ask the umpire if he can check on him so it doesn't count as a visit. Just wanted to make sure he's okay, to make sure it didn't get his wrist. And it did get the glove.
Saw that from Nick Martinez earlier this season. It was at home, I believe it may have been against the Mariners. Made the textbook flip your glove behind your back. And Shane, you'll see a lot of coaches try to sway their pitchers away from that, as it could disrupt the play up the middle for your second baseman and shortstop, and misdirect the ball and make it go the opposite. If it's up the middle, they're moving towards the bag. It could knock it towards first or third base and maybe disrupt what would be a normal play.
Well, and it's also a safety thing too. Obviously that ball's getting on the pitcher, but you can talk about that all you want. That reaction right there is just to field the baseball.
Most of it's probably a little instincts as well.
Put the glove right down, and like you said, just about made him a top 10er. Instead, he's got a 2-out base runner, and they're going to run for him. Oh, maybe the hitter instead of the runner. I'm sorry.
So Cameron Kahn due up. Instead, it'll be Brady Music. Definitely a top name in the Southeast District. And Music, first pitch swinging the other way, down for a 2-out base hit. Bundy will hold up at second. And runners on first and second, back to the top of the order with Brady Doss.
I certainly never hate bringing that off the bench.
Music right off the bench, first pitch the other way. 2-out base knock. Now Brady Doss. 2 for 2, doubled in the first, tripled in the second. Scored once and driven in a run.
Well, that's where the near incredible play keeps the inning going. Then you get the base hit. Now you got to face this young man in an RBI spot. You got to be careful here. I'm going to put him on, which, I understand. I do, because there's 2 outs, and I guess here's my thinking. You didn't come to the VA and the district tournament to kind of play a close game. You came to win, and I think he feels it like, hey, this is one of those all or nothing things. I've got to keep this at 3-0. 4-0 is going to make it really, really difficult. So he feels like this is the best chance to get out of the inning. Then I give him credit for sticking with his game plan.
The intentional walk will bring up Jake Clevenger. He's 0 for 2. 291 batter on the season. First pitch, a breaking ball, a cold strike, 0-1. Clevenger, 1 extra base hit, a double, has 2 RBI. Chance to add on to that number here in the 4th inning. 0-1.
Out in front of him now. Now the catcher becomes really important. Jackson's been good all day. You got to be able to keep the ball in front if he's going to try to expand the zone a little bit, particularly with the off speed on this turf. You got to be able to drop and block.
0-2 in there. Called strike 3.
Hey, hats off Coach Graham. Great call, and his pitcher picks him up, makes it the right decision, keeps it a 3-0 game.
Second strikeout of the afternoon for Carter Witt. And it's back-to-back scoreless innings for the Wellston defense. We'll take a break. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at GlocknerCDJR@Portsmouth.com.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real, reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glowhio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
Back here in Chillicothe, it's 3-0. Wheelersburg leading Wellston as Brass Monkey rings throughout VA Memorial Stadium. Actually, Shane, I got one for you. So during the summer, my dad and I, we golf with Matt a lot. Matt Combs, he's head coach of the Uniota basketball team. And one thing we always talk about is how at Reds games he always enjoys the scoreboard stumper.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm assuming, the blood in there, it's probably genetic. You like to dabble in some Reds trivia yourselves. So I'll go ahead and give it to you, and I can narrow it down to position if that helps. But what 2012 Cincinnati Red had this as their walk-up song? I can narrow it down to position if you need me to.
Well, now I got to go back and try to think about who's on the team in 2012.
It's been a little while, 13 years now.
Yeah. I'll think about that one for a minute.
Scoreboard stumper, you get about an inning and a half, so it doesn't have to be right away. We can come back to it. Once I tell you who it is, it almost, you almost say, oh, yeah. I probably make, I'll say this, he's an everyday player. Wasn't a bench guy, he's an everyday guy. So 6, 7, 8 due up for the Golden Rockets in their half of the 5th inning. Brent Moon will lead things off, followed by A.J. Irvin and Levi Bellard. It's Moon squaring around to bunt this one, and on the hands, pulled back in time, 1-0.
Yeah, he had squared the bunt earlier in the game and didn't get it pulled back.
Is Heimbach now well in on the grass. Moon squares around to bunt, right back to the pitcher, Kahn. Easy 1-3 put out for the Pirates.
Yeah, I don't mind trying to do whatever you got to do to get on. Just got to make someone other than the pitcher field it there, bunting it in the middle. Just trying to get it up the first baseline and just caught too much of the middle of the field.
So now A.J. Irvin. Heimbach remains well in up the line.
Talk about, even though there's still the 5th inning, you start to run out of outs, and you got to be able to move the line here and get some base runners. Got to try to give your top of the order a chance to impact the game a little bit.
Two-one, right back up the middle. First base knock for A.J. Irvin, the 4th of the evening for Wellston.
Big hit from Irvin there, gives Wellston a little bit of life.
And Shane, I think it would be fair to say that the 0 in the run column on the scoreboard for Wellston doesn't quite represent how well their approach has been at the plate. They've had a handful of solid base knocks, and even when they're not getting base hits, they've had great at-bats.
Yeah, I feel like there's probably 5 for sure, maybe 6 guys that have had some decent cuts against Kahn. Just the inability to get earlier base runners in the inning.
Ballard, first pitch swinging up the middle. Holland flips to Kahn at second. Can they turn 2? No, they cannot. Head first slide from Ballard beats the throw.
Wheelersburg's going to ask about the interference out here.
Mark Trainer with the call up the first base line.
Well, no, he's going over to first base, so he's not sure about the call there. I thought out in the middle infield. They felt like the runner.
So for now, it's 2 outs, runner on first, as Bellard beats out the double play. Bottom of the order, the right fielder, Cale Falk.
Well, now what they've done by beating that out is they give the 9-hole a chance. If he gets on, now the top of the order has an RBI spot. If he doesn't, it does give Wellston's top of the order one inning in the 6th inning there, an opportunity to hit together. But obviously you take the base runner here and give him an RBI chance is what you love to have.
Fought a victim to the backwards K back in the 3rd inning. Now up for the 2nd time tonight. The man on 2 down here in the 5th.
Brandon Phillips.
Runner up from first. Bellard head first slide is in there safely.
Yeah, aggressive call there. Nice jump. I just thought he was goofy enough to.
This next guy might be goofer. Do you want another try?
Billy Hamilton?
I don't think he was up in 2012.
Well,
he may have been a September
I was
call-up.
trying to. That was the biggest thing. Is on some of the guys that came to my mind, I was trying to think were they even on the team in 12.
One chopped foul.
I know a lot of Reds. Walk-up songs I don't know.
I'll tell you, this guy wasn't on the team long. 2 or 3 years. He's one of the rentals that you get when you're in a position to make a run.
Well, you had some guys throughout that stretch.
As Bellard takes off from second, but it's called strike 3 at the plate, and that'll end the inning. 10th strikeout for Ian Kahn. 1 away from pizza in Cincinnati. Through 5 innings, we'll take a break. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Parmar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Parmar has it. Download the Parmar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Parmar Rewards Card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
We welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium. Bottom of the 5th inning coming up. 3-4-5 for the Pirates. Jack Picklesheimer, Brody Wilburn, and Cooper Heimbach.
You know, as dominant as Kahn's been, Witt's continued to keep his team in the game, and right here at 3-0, you just got to keep on keeping on, give your top of the order a chance. But Wellston's played a pretty competitive game, other than 1 or 2 defensive plays they'd like to have back, I'm sure.
Witt's effort so far very similar to Oliver's we saw from Piketon yesterday.
That's a good comparison.
It's at least given the Rockets a chance to at least stay in the game here in the late innings. Picklesheimer sends it to center field and over the head of Brenton Moon. Extra bases for Picklesheimer. He'll stand up at second. Leadoff double the 4th time in 5th innings. The leadoff man, the 4th time in 5 innings, the leadoff man for Wheelersburg has got on with a base hit.
Well, hard to tell off the bat how hard it was hit. Maybe playing a little shallow there, but ball had a little bit more carry than I originally thought. I thought off the bat it was going to be just your basic FO8 in the scorebook, and not that at all. And now I would have to bet the house here that you're going to get a bunt and try to get this insurance run over to third.
Multi-hit day now for Picklesheimer. He's led off an inning with a base knock now 2 times. Single in the 3rd as well. As Wilburn squares around a bunt, played by Long on the hop over to first for the 1st down of the inning. Picklesheimer moves down to 3rd.
Nice job by Long. Again, he's been he's been good on the charge and on the fielding. I thought the throwing error came on just taking a little too much time and creating the bad angle back in the first. And again, that was a big play in the game. But yeah, Long's been pretty good overall, charging and fielding his position.
Second sack bunt from Brody Wilburn. Now Cooper Heimbach, he's 1 for 2, singled in the first.
So you're saying, going back to that, I keep going back and forth. You're saying it was someone that was not with them very long. Like
I don't know if he was on the team in 2014.
Well, I'm trying to think of you had guys like Ryan Ludwig. He was on the team and
up the middle, and it gets past the diving effort from A.J. Irvin. It's 4-0 Wheelersburg. Shane, you may have been on to something there.
On what?
Ryan Ludwig.
Oh, is that it?
That's who it was. Oh. It was Ryan Ludwig.
See, I don't know personality-wise. I mean, I guess.
Well, he bats right and throws left.
Yeah,
so
well, that does make you a little unique.
You don't see it too often.
No. Now, not that the Wheelersburg fans care about Ryan Ludwig, but they probably care about that insurance run. Now they're going to look to pour it on here a little bit.
First hit of the day for Ian Kahn, now 3 in the inning for Wheelersburg. Going back to Heimbach, he's now 2 for 3 with an RBI. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner for Kahn.
Yeah, Wheelersburg going to go to the bench here. Henderson comes out. Got the Ellie mid on, I like to call it, ready to go.
See, Ellie sometimes goes with a double mid.
Yeah, yeah. That's the biggest thing throughout my career I've seen is just like sporting goods, man. They're raking it in with what the kids think they have to have nowadays. But
come up with something new, slap a price tag on it. You see the thumb guard.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Elbow pad, knee pad, shin pad.
Yeah. The batter's box is safer than ever.
Holland pops it up into foul ground. Jackson giving chase and makes the grab. An athletic play from the Golden Rockets catcher.
That's an outstanding play. Had to come a long way to get it. We talked last night how much foul ground in this ballpark. High school catcher drop stepping and coming and getting it. Outstanding. Big second out in the inning here. A chance to get out of it.
Do you remember the fighting necklaces? The braided, they were braided,
yeah.
clip on. That was more my style. That was around when I was 12U. The bags are still 60 feet down the lines. Sticker eye black. Up the middle. Irvin shifted over. He'll step on second. Positioned the right way. A lot of times that's a base knock, but in this case it'll end the inning. Pirates tag on another. It's 4-0 after 5. Top of the 6th when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new Pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
We welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium. Wheelersburg leading Wellston 4-0. So winner of this one will Have a date with Lucasville Valley this Friday, 4 p.m. first pitch. Down in Athens at Ohio University. Some games down there tomorrow night. Across the Division V bracket, Portsmouth and Lynchburg District Final. Also, Unioda and Westfall in Division IV will square off down in Athens tomorrow. I believe Miami, Trace, and Sheridan out of Division III also playing as well. A full slate of games at Bob Rinn Stadium tomorrow evening and afternoon. You talked about it last inning, Shane, an opportunity for the top of the order. Try to cook something up here for the Golden Rockets. It's 1-2-3. Rylan Long, Braxton Ingalls, and Justin Jackson to do up here in their half of the sixth.
Yeah,
Kahn
Long
works ahead, 0-2.
Yeah, Long is really capable leadoff man. Has kind of struggled today a little bit. Kahn's kind of pitched him tough. And again, ahead of him, 0-2. And his ability to throw multiple pitches to both sides of the plate can leave you guessing.
0-2 in there. The first strikeout of the inning. One away.
Shortstop number 1, Braxton Ingalls.
Make that 11 now for Kahn.
Yeah, just been dominant. 11 strikeouts. Wellston down to 5 outs. Desperate need of some base runners and a couple guys coming up here that can provide that.
Long now 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Now the shortstop, Braxton Ingalls. He's 1 for 2, singled in the first inning. Third plate appearance now in the sixth.
Going to get the mound visit. Not sure exactly. The pitcher called him out, so not sure exactly what the issue would be. Whatever they're doing so far has worked pretty well. A lot of times with strikeout totals getting this high, the pitch count goes up with it, but overall he's been pretty efficient.
3 straight balls to Ingalls. My memory serves me correct. I believe the first 3-0 count tonight for Ian Kahn.
Been 3-2 several times, but 3-0, I believe you're right.
3-0. Ingalls swinging away and into right center field. That'll be extra bases for Braxton Ingalls. All the way to the wall. Clevenger out from center. And a stand-up 1-out triple for Braxton Ingalls. You mentioned one of the top up-and-coming players in the area.
Yeah, just a terrific player. Shows off all his tools here today. He's played a great shortstop for him. The pitches for him. You see a little bit of the power there. Beats the center fielder on a good swing, and then he shows off the speed, turning that into a 3-bagger. And Wellston going to try to get on the board here.
First extra base hit tonight for Wellston. Runner on third, 1 out for Justin Jackson. Jackson 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out.
This is one of those situations where obviously you got to get the run in and get a run on the board, but at the same time you'd like to do it with a base hit so you can keep the rally going.
Jackson holds off, evens it up at 1-1. The man on deck, Carter Witt, 2 for 2 with a pair of singles today.
Yeah, Ingalls and Witt have by far had the best swings against him today.
One in on the knees, 2 balls and 1 strike. Two, 1. 3 straight pitches out of the zone. For Ian Kahn, it's 3 balls and 1 strike to Justin Jackson.
Should get a pretty good pitch to hit here.
3-1, that's chopped to the left side. Heimbach Fakes the throw to first, diving back to the bag is Engels, and he's able to do so safely. Jackson aboard with a fielder's choice.
That's an interesting play. I don't know from where he fielded it if he didn't think he had a chance to get him, so he was going to eat it anyway. So he went ahead and went with the fake. Give Engels a lot of credit for kind of catching his attention, but I assume he felt like he didn't have a throw. You've got to take the out there. You trade the second out for the run there for sure.
4-run lead.
Yeah, cut it to 4-1 and be 4 outs away from the district championship game.
Especially with what Kahn has been able to do on the mound this evening. Instead, it's runners on the corners. As Kahn pulls the third to first pickoff move, both runners back in safely. So runners on the corners with 1 out. Carter Witt, 2 for 2 with a pair of singles coming in the second and fourth innings. Third one would work wonders here for the Golden Rockets.
If you start the runner here, you got to feel like he's capable of stealing the base. Because, again, you just can't afford to trade outs for runs right now. You want to give Witt a chance to swing it here. But at the same time, you've got double play chance if he hits it on the ground. So that's another reason why you might start the runner. So a lot of back and forth here. Coaches have to make some key decisions here.
Witt is senior, first team all-district selection. Big spot for the fourth year. Pick off to first. Jackson head first slide in safely. Do you anticipate at the high school level we ever see anything such as the disengagement rules?
Oh, I think that's the type of rule that would be pretty easy to enforce. A lot of people have asked me about the pitch clock, and I think a lot of that comes down to technology and money, whereas what you're talking about.
As Kahn steps off, Jackson caught in between first and second. His time is called. I believe we may have a ball.
I was going to say, with the three-man crew, I thought that leg went way out in front.
So the motion on the base paths for the Golden Rockets causes Kahn to balk. Derek Moore beside himself as both Wellston runners move up 90 feet. It's 4-1. And still an RBI opportunity for Carter Witt.
Well, certainly a big play. If you think of the alternative, you're going to have 2 outs, guy at third there, and now you still just the 1 out.
It looks like we may have a mound visit for the Pirates. Kahn at 82 pitches, giving up 5 hits, 1 run. Now in the visiting half of the 6th inning, Carter Witt at the plate. 2 for 2 with a pair of singles, runner on second, just 1 out. Justin Jackson more or less draws the balk of Ian Kahn. Engels in from third. It's 4-1. You feel like with high school games only being 7 innings, the pitch clock really not super necessary. Most games, even if it's long, going to last 2.5 hours.
No, I don't think the pitch clock's needed at the high school level for sure. But the disengagement thing, that's pretty easy to count, pretty easy to enforce. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, even if you wanted to make it 3 at the high school level or whatnot. I've watched enough pickoff moves go down the right field line. I just assume make a 0. No, in all seriousness, obviously that's a big part of the running game, so it's needed. But, yeah, I think 2 or 3 at the high school level, I wouldn't be against that.
So middle of the order now for the Golden Rockets. 1-0 to Witt. And we talked about Witt and how he's competed on the mound, but his at-bats have been absolutely phenomenal. A pair of singles, and I believe that first one in the second inning was on an 0-2 count.
Yeah, really, really good swings against Collin to this point when you consider Collin has 11 Ks on the night. Or 12 after this inning, correct? Didn't he pick up his 12?
I believe it's at 11. Came into the inning with 10 and started
okay.
off the inning retiring long. 3 balls and no strikes to Carter Witt. .30 finds the zone.
Good take. Hard to tell if he was taking all the way. That was a pitcher's pitch, not one he'd want to swing at 3-0 anyway. So again, 3-1. Still going to get a really good pitch to hit here. Looking for something you can barrel up.
3-1, Witt to the left side. Heimbach feels it cleanly. Throw on to first is in time, 2 away.
Big out there for Con and the Pirates. Because again, a base hit there that makes it 4-2. Tying run comes to the plate. Now, if you're Wheelersburg, you got a chance to really slam the door here. Wellston still with an opportunity. If you get that second run on the board and move down the order a little bit, you have an opportunity to get that top of the order back up in the 7th inning with the game on the line.
The first baseman, Mason Stevens, he's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. First pitch on the outside corner, 0-1.
Middle infield doing a good job of keeping the runner close.
Breaking ball just off the outside corner, 2-1.
Sorry, Dewey. The one thing, in a 3-run game with 2 outs, what you don't want to do is get caught there at the bag. If that's not where you're shading the hitter, you got to get back and play the hitter with two outs.
And this one gets past Brady Doss all the way to the backstop. Jackson advances to third.
First time I've seen a little frustration on just in the body language of Con. Coming off that balk call, and then here just missed on the second and third pitches of the at-bat to push it to 2-1, and then that one gets way away from him, 3-1. This is a big pitch here.
3-1 fouled away. The count is full.
You're in the 5 hole right now. If you're Wellston, you'd really like to get that 6th guy to the plate this inning.
Payoff from Kahn. Down low for the walk. Runners back on the corners now with 2 down. First walk from either side, I believe.
She's got a great opportunity. One, obviously, to knock a run in, but the other thing is you keep moving closer to the top of the order there in the 7th inning, assuming you're not going to be able to get 3 more in this particular rally.
Only other free base issued was that intentional walk to Brady Doss in the 4th inning. Other than that, there have not been any walks issued. What kind of music do you listen to, Shane?
I
An old
like
classical rock
I like
kind of
a lot
guy.
of music. I guess I'm probably more country as I get older. I enjoy my gospel music too, but growing up through the 90s, get some old school music. I'm a big fan of like American Idol and The Voice, so I'll get a lot of genres out of that too. Like I don't know that there's any music I just don't like.
I tend to agree. I think we live in a country music centered area. 94.3, obviously one of the bigger stations that's strictly country music. Say whatever's on the radio. That's how I answer that question. Whatever's on the radio.
I'll be honest, the older I get, I listen to less radio and I listen to more podcasts. So I probably get a lot of my music off of those talent shows.
So runners on the corners with 2 outs. The center fielder, Brenton Moon. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out.
Moon can run a little bit. Again, you got to put the ball in play and force the defense to make a play here. been the biggest thing for Wellston throughout the night with 11 strikeouts of Kahn. It's just contact.
0-1 chopped foul as Kahn works ahead.
There hasn't been a whole lot of pressure put on this Wheelersburg defense this evening.
Oh, 2 fouled off and into the glove of Brady Doss. 12 Ks through 6 innings of work for Ian Kahn. 4-1, middle of the 6th here in Chillicothe. Home half of the frame when we return. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
You look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Back here at the VA, it's 4-1. Wheelersburg leading Wellston in Game 2 of our Division V District Semifinal doubleheader, our second in as many days. Game number 4 total. We've got 4 more games on tap this Saturday. If I remember correctly, it's 2 Division VI and 2 Division VII district finals. Of course, all coming from the Southeast District. We'll also have the regional tournament here at the VA and on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health. That is June 5 and June 6. Semifinals and regional finals. So we'll see a team qualify for the state here at the VA, which I don't think has happened for a handful of years. I know a couple of years ago there was a regional semifinal here. It was Valley, and I think Fairland played. That may have been the year Valley went all the way to the state tournament, if I remember correctly. But it's always good to see regional baseball, especially in Division III. We might have the opportunity to have some area teams. I know Circleville's still in it. I think Jackson maybe still hanging around as well. Miami Trace won last night. So 9-1-2 due up for the Wheelersburg Pirates. Now Cameron Kahn back in the 9 spot. Last time through the order, it was Brady Music in the 9 spot. He singled and was stranded at second. So Kahn 0 for 1, grounded out in the second inning.
Got some incredible pitching matchups in that D6, and I don't know how the coaches will go about it in the semifinal, so that could impact what we end up seeing on Saturday.
Kahn lays down a bunt right back to Witt. Easy 1-2 put out for the 1-3 put out for the Golden Rockets.
Same situation as early, trying to bunt for the hit. You got to get it out of the middle, and just catches too much of the middle of the field. Witt ready to bounce and makes the easy play. But yeah, you'll get in that Adena Eastern Megs game, you'll get McGill versus Rockhold if they can throw their ones. And keep an eye on Huntington, because Huntington having the 1-2 punch of Elliott and Oyer, they're going to be a tough out in this district tournament. They're going to see a pretty good arm from Manchester here.
Mound visit now for the Golden Rockets. I tell you what, Shane, it's not too often you see a guy, in this case Carter Witt, 6th inning, giving up 11 hits, 4 runs. He's only thrown 59 pitches. I think it was that 3rd and 4th inning, maybe threw 11 pitches total. I mean, it was 2 really quick innings of work.
Well, I think back through his night, you know,
couple double plays as well, at least
Doss, obviously Doss has played a big factor in this game. But, like, think about Doss's first at bat of the night. That was a pretty good pitch. It was just a kind of a flare the other way for a double. Wheelersburg manufactures a run. You throw in a little throwing error down the line, and that kind of led to a run that didn't need to happen. So you wouldn't have to squint very hard to make this a 2-1 game right now.
Intentional walk as well to Doss. Maybe shaves off, you never know, 4 to 6 pitches. So bottom of the frame here, 1 out, back to the top of the order. It's Brady Doss for the 4th time tonight.
Yeah, this is one of the top individuals I've seen in the games we've called so far. Just his individual impact he's had, offense and defense.
Doss straight away left field. Beller moving towards the line makes the grab for the 2nd out of the inning.
Good adjustment defensively there, just getting a hair deeper. Got beat in that left center field gap in earlier at bat tonight.
First time Doss has been retired. Now 2 for 3. Here's Jake Clevenger. 0 for 3, did come around to score in the 1st inning. First pitch swinging this one, out of play, 0-1. You talk about some of the players we've seen here last couple of days. I mean, take your pick from Lynchburg Clay.
No question.
Josiah Burns, great leadoff guy. The pair of brothers, I blanking on the last names. I know it was Owen and I think Quinn, but last name is
the Wells kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wells brothers. I'm assuming they were brothers. I don't know that for sure.
Wells has obviously had one of the really elite years. Will probably be an All-Ohio selection, but the Burns kid in the leadoff spot is a problem. You've got to get him off base.
Ethan Wall, even today, 1 for 4, but his averages and just all-out numbers have been great. Saw him homer.
You know, when you see the type of power he had to hit it out of here, you go back to the at-bat where he was up with the bases loaded, and it makes you realize just how big of an AB that was. Is Wellston going to have an opportunity here? They've got to get a base runner or 2 out of the bottom of the order to get that top of the order a chance.
3 outs to go. For the Wellston Golden Rockets, it's 4-1. Wheelersburg leading Wellston. Visiting half of the 7th when we return to VA Memorial Stadium. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Will.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Golden Rockets down to their final 3 outs. They trail Wheelersburg by 3 in tonight's Division V District Semifinal. 7-8-9 due up for Wellston. A.J. Irvin, Levi Bellard, and Cale Fott. The due up 1 for 6 the first 2 times through. 4 strikeouts among the 3 batters.
Well, really do, if you look at it from a 7-8-9-1 standpoint for Wellston, you're looking to get 2 of those 4 guys on and give Braxton Ingles 1 more swing at this thing. That would be your goal here. It starts 1 AB at a time. Need base runners.
So Irvin, the one player in the bottom of the third, in the bottom third of the order with a base knock. He singled in the 5th. Backwards K in the 2nd inning. Now 97 pitches for Kahn.
So again, not knowing what Kahn usually is thrown throughout the year. Obviously from a rule standpoint, has plenty of wiggle room here to within that 125 allotment. You had mentioned on the stat sheet that Wheelersburg's had several proven guys throughout the year. So if the pitch count would get up in the one teens and they needed to go, they certainly have options.
I think they have 4 total guys with at least 25 innings with an ERA below 1.25.
That'll do.
1-2 pitch in there. Strike 3 called, a banker's dozen for Ian Kahn on the night. 1 away in the 7th.
Left fielder, number 17, Levi Beller.
Levi Bellard 0 for 2, did reach base safely in the 5th on a fielder's choice. Struck out looking in the 3rd inning. Oh, 1 in on the hands.
Yeah, again, in this situation, unless you're able to draw the walk, you've got to be able to put the ball in play. You try to make a ground ball play, but again, the strikeout has been what's been the biggest issue for the Wellston offense this evening.
One ball and 2 strike to Levi Bellard. 1-2 ripped to right field, giving chase is Wilburn, and he brings it in 2 away. Wellston down to their final out.
Ball hit fairly well.
So we have a pinch hitter for Wellston, Carson McCorkle.
Carson McCorkle.
No, the last out. Been a well-pitched game on both sides here. Let's see if Kahn can finish it off.
Cale fought the previous 9-hole, was 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. So McCorkle, first pitch swinging up the middle and into center field for a 2-out base hit.
How about that? That young man wasn't scared at all. Just grabbed the bat, come off the bench 2 hours later and knock a single into center. Now all of a sudden you're one base runner away from getting Braxton Ingles to the plate.
It's the second time tonight that we've seen the 9-hole be pinch hit for with 2 outs in an inning. And on the first pitch, they get a base hit.
Going to make a pitching change.
Saw Brady Music do it in the 4th inning. And that'll do it for Ian Kahn.
Wheelersburg faithful appreciate that young man's effort, as they should. What was your final total there on the strikeouts?
6 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 13 strikeouts for Ian Kahn.
Wow.
So pitching change here in Chillicothe. We'll take a break. 4-1 Wheelersburg leading Wellston with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
So Cooper Heimbach into slam to the door for the Wheelersburg Pirates. Be his 7th appearance of the season. He's tossed 31 innings, 1-2 record, and a 0.23 ERA, 33 strikeouts for Cooper Heimbach. Top of the order with Rylan Long, 0 for 3 with a trio of strikeouts.
Well, biggest thing for a pitcher in this spot's just being able to come into this moment and throw strikes.
First offering from Heimbach down low, 1-0.
See if Long can work a count. Again, very difficult just to come right in out of the infield and throw the called strike. Already 2-0 now. My assumption would be that he's taking till he gets one at this point.
Two 2-1 finds the zone.
Young man comes from a unique arm angle, throws the ball pretty hard. I could see where he'd be very effective when he's in the zone.
2-1, swing and a miss. On the move to second, and the throw is in time for the third out of the inning. McCorkle thrown out on the base paths. And the Wheelersburg Pirates are moving on. We talked about the extraordinary catcher's play all week through the 4 games we've done. Shane, what a fitting way to end this one.
Well, Doss, again, five-tool player there. We watched the power, certainly hit for average. Defensively with the glove there, he shows off the arm, and what a great athlete, putting on all the tools on display tonight to help his team to a 4-1 victory.
4-1 final. Stage is set for this Friday's Division V District Final to be Lucasville Valley and Wheelersburg. We'll take a break. You've been watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
You look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Back here in Chillicothe, a 4-1 final. Wheelersburg moving on to this Friday's Division V District Final, where they'll take on the team we saw take home a win earlier on tonight, Lucasville Valley. That should be a fun matchup down in Athens. We'll quickly go through the box score, and then we'll give some final thoughts and get out of here before Saturday, where we have 4 district finals on tap here at the VA. So we'll start with Wellston. On the offensive side of things, Braxton Ingalls, Shane, a player that gained your praise, 2 for 3 with a 2 for 3 with a run scored. He tripled in the 6th. Carter Witt, solid effort today. Competed very well both on the mound and at the plate. He's 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. A.J. Irvin goes 1 for 2, and Carson McCorkle comes off the bench for the final hit of the ball game with that single in the 7th inning, goes 1 for 1. For the Wheelersburg Pirates offensively, Brady Doss goes 2 for 3, had a double and a triple, scored once and drove in 1. Jake Clevenger goes 0 for 3, but came around and scored in the 1st inning. Jack Picklesheimer 2 for 3, did double in the 5th, came home to score in that 5th inning as well. Brody Wilburn goes 1 for 1, sack bunted twice, and drove in a run, RBI single in the 1st. Cooper Heimbach 2 for 3, singled twice, drove in a run in the 5th inning. Ian Kahn 1 for 3. We'll talk about his day on the mound here in a minute. Drew Holland goes 1 for 1, scored once. Drake Bundy 1 for 3. And we saw Brady Music come off the bench in the 4th inning to get a single in his lone plate appearance. On the mound, Ian Kahn, 6 2/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 13 strikeouts. Cooper Heimbach comes in for the final out. Credit him with the save as well. Wheelersburg Pirates are moving on.
Well, it's hard not to start with the Wheelersburg battery today, right? With Kahn and Doss. The high strikeout total, they dominate the Wellston lineup. Then Doss defensively Receiving a nice game, shows off the arm strength there a little bit. Again, shows off the power, the speed. You look up there, 4 runs. I know he knocked in one of them, scored another one. So, again, just those two guys really leading the way for Wheelersburg. I thought Wheelersburg played pretty well situationally, offensively. They bunted the ball well. Wellston, for the most part, was pretty good in their bunt defense. Had the 1 or 2 miscues early. Or like I said, maybe that 7th inning is a little bit of a different feeling if you're pitching in a 2-1 game instead of a 4-1 game. But nonetheless, Wheelersburg up to the challenge, and now they're going to have an all-SOC battle there with a familiar opponent in Valley.
Yeah, we talked about the all-SVC district final tomorrow night, but an all-SOC 3 district final on tap for Friday as well. I would assume the other district final in Division 5 is also on Friday as well, so that would be Medford and then whoever won that Ironton-South Point game for the other game. And I'm assuming usually I think they try to set up 3 games for the slate, usually 2-4, or maybe it's 2:30, 4:30 or something. I don't know. I know they stacked 3 games tomorrow, so I wasn't sure if they were stacking 3 games at OU on Friday as well. That's something I would have to check into. I know all of the D6 and D7 districts are here, so it would almost have to be another D4 or a D3 game. So that'll wrap it up for our coverage of the Division V District Baseball Tournament. 2 games yesterday, 2 games today. You can go back and watch any of them on the YouTube page. They're all archived over at Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health. Shane, appreciate you coming out.
Hey, I enjoyed it. I think we're in for a real treat Saturday. Looking forward to being back here with you.
Yeah, 4 more district finals this Saturday. We mentioned the regional tournament, Division III, taking place here at the VA June 5th and 6th. So some baseball to come. We're not even halfway done with our tournament coverage. We're 4 games in. We've got, I think, 7 more to go is what it would be. I think we're 11 total. So a lot more baseball and a lot of medals to be handed out here in Chillicothe. For Shane Combs, I'm Dewey Daly saying so long from VA Memorial Stadium. Wheelersburg victorious over Wellston 4-1. Moving on to this Friday's district final. You've been watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.